Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to fill in the gaps about the robbery at his Phalaphala farm in Limpopo. He's expected to deliver the presidency's budget vote speech on Thursday, that's tomorrow, but it looks like it will be overshadowed by many such questions. The EFF vowed it won't make it easy for him to speak. The president's got a lot of tough questions to answer to. Let's speak to political analyst Prince Mashelo, who joins us now virtually to discuss what he thinks of the developments in the past 2 weeks. Thank you so much, Mr. Mashelo, for your time here on All Angles. I mean, a lot of people are saying that this could be a smear campaign. There was a time during CR17 towards that year where there were rumors about him allegedly abusing his ex-wife, etc. What are your thoughts with all the developments around the president?
Thank you for inviting me. Look, there are a few things here that we need to separate. Number one, opposition parties are correct to make the kinds of calls that they are making. That is their role in a democracy, is to put pressure on the governing party and poke holes in the agenda of the governing party. So there is nothing wrong in what opposition parties are doing. That's number one. And that's politics. Number two, and this is not politics, there are allegations of bribery, kidnapping, and even money laundering involving the president.
Very serious.
He has confirmed that these allegations are very serious. Even if I were the president of South Africa, I would have to be investigated. He confirms that such a robbery took place on his farm. This has got nothing to do with politics. It's not the EFF or the DA that stole money from his farm or confirmed that there was a robbery. It's him who confirms. Now, you can't expect that a matter as serious as this should not be investigated. This matter has to be investigated, and we must not bring politics into it. And that's what Cyril Ramaphosa is trying to do. He is trying to bring politics into it so that he can muddy waters, so that he can escape responsibility. What he's doing is not different from what Jacob Zuma has been doing all the years. Remember, when Jacob Zuma faced criminal cases, he always said it was a political smear campaign. We need to separate politics from facts. You cannot say Cyril Ramaphosa should not be investigated. He has to be investigated. The last point I want to make is this, on this one, is that it is unfortunate that Cyril Ramaphosa has placed state institutions in a very difficult position. The people who report to him now have to investigate him. And in such a situation, normally you would expect the presidents to be on some kind of leave, so that his subordinates who are investigating these allegations don't feel threatened by the fact that he continues to hold office. That is the tricky part, by the way. And I support those who say he must step aside in order for him not to interfere with investigations.
And I mean, looking at the fact that these are quite serious charges that he needs to answer to, a lot of people are asking why he would not go and open a case around such a robbery, especially as state president. It talks about our state security as well. Yeah, look, and again, let's go back to this politics thing, and I will link it to your question. He says, why now, the timing? The robbery that he has confirmed happened in February, according to him. Why did he not tell the public at the time, number one? Number two, why did he not open a case at the time? He says that he has reported this to his head of the protection unit. The president is the custodian of the Constitution. He knows all our laws because he signs them, by the way, into effect. He should have known that when there's a robbery in your house, you don't tell the head of your protection unit. You go to a police station and open a case. He didn't do so, which is why we don't even have a case number, because there was no case open. We are left with a logical conclusion that the president was trying to cover up what happened on his farm. Now, he is the one to blame. Even the timing, by the way, he is the one who allowed the matter to drag this far. If he opened the case back then, the matter would have been investigated. Most probably by now, it would have been finalized.
And looking at the fact that, in Limpopo over the weekend, a lot of people were wondering why he was not willing to speak to journalists suddenly. He usually is a person that would allow some door-stopping, joking here and there. So it was quite obvious he would try and dodge journalist questions on Sunday. But tomorrow he won't be able to be that lucky in Parliament.
Look, President Ramaphosa is a charmer of note when it comes to innocuous matters. But when it comes to serious allegations involving criminality, he is not a man known for openness, by the way. I can give you a string of examples. Remember how he conducted himself with regard to the allegations of murder in Marikana. Not once did he sit down and face journalists and face the public and tell us his side of the story. He always hid behind the fact that this was a legal matter. Even this time around, he smiles on a political podium. He does not want to face the public and share with us details as far as he's aware. So he is a man who is used to hiding the truth. Unfortunately, tomorrow, he will be on a parliamentary platform. He will have to answer questions. But my prediction, obviously, the EFF has already threatened that they will make his life difficult. I think we should expect chaos in Parliament tomorrow. There won't be order in Parliament if the history of the EFF of disrupting Parliament is anything to go by. And by the way, I don't support disruptions in Parliament. Obviously, I'm an upright citizen of the country. But when there's chaos in Parliament, back then under Zuma, I blamed Zuma because it was Zuma who created the situation that caused chaos in Parliament. So tomorrow, if there's chaos, as South Africans, we must blame Ramaphosa because it is him who created a situation where our political system is disrupted.
Just very quickly and lastly, I know the team is going to be upset with me because I have run out of time. If he does step aside, who do you see taking over? Because a lot of young people, at least in South Africa, are quite despondent in terms of who can actually lead this country in the ANC.
It's a very scary question you are asking. Because this man who is second in charge, Didi Mabuza, I don't even remember when last I saw him, or if there's a South African who has seen him recently, they must help us. We all know that this man is not qualified to be a deputy president of a normal country. That we have a deputy president like him, it's actually scandalous, an indictment on us. By the way, the best thing that he does is to hide from the public. He does not even want to speak to the public because he knows he's not qualified. Also, there are all manner of allegations over his head emanating from his province of Mpumalanga. So if Cyril Ramaphosa steps aside, God help South Africa if Didi Mabuza is our acting president, because we all know that there is no one in South Africa who trusts him. I have never met a single South African who says, I trust the deputy president.
Well, thank you very much for your insight, definitely here on All Angles. Always a pleasure to speak to Prince Mashele, giving us insight on, that Phala robbery case in terms of the president. He will be delivering his presidency budget vote speech tomorrow in Parliament. We'll take it live at around 2 o'clock here on eNCA. It's going to be very interesting.